All right, so we are live on YouTube for the first time in this Road to the Pro series. And so I thank you guys for joining me, whether you're joining me live or you're joining me on the replay. Either way, man, I really, really appreciate you guys. We are going to talk some competition prep bodybuilding today, kind of inside of this Road to the Pro series that I've been running now for, man, it's been like 16 weeks. And so we're 16 weeks in, so I thought, given the theme of what I've experienced, hey, let's talk about why you have to diet slowly. Why you must diet slowly if you want, sustainable weight loss and sustainable fat loss, which I really think is what we're all after. So I want to get right into it. And if you guys have comments as we move along, whether it be live or on the replay, drop them down in the comment box and I will try to respond to every single one. So here's the first reason why you have to diet slowly. It's much easier. So let's back up a second and let's just look at 80, 90, 95, 99% of all these Instagram coaches that you'll see, kind of out there on the internet. Here's what I've seen a lot of them do with their clients, and it really just makes my blood boil. It's like, all right, I hire you, Instagram coach, or I hire you, Twitter coach, or whatever the case may be, and then Twitter coach just puts you on 800 calories or 1,000 calories or basically nothing. And what's going to happen in that case is you're definitely going to lose weight. You're definitely going to lose fat. That's not going to be the issue because you're eating so little. The diet is going to be extremely hard. And if you can actually hang on, then yes, you will make progress. Well, let's be real, man. Can you actually hang on? Are you actually going to be able to adhere to that protocol? There's a really good chance that you're going to fall off the wagon. I mean, I would fall off the wagon. I have fallen off the wagon in the past when I've tried to diet on really, really little food and just really, really low calories. So here's the first reason why dieting slowly can be such a good way to approach your, physical transformation. It's much, much easier. When you're eating, 1,500 or 2,000 or 2,500 calories, it's going to be very unique to where you're at. But when you're only a few hundred calories underneath your daily maintenance calories, it just makes a big, big difference in terms of the sustainability and your adherence to the actual protocol. So that's the first thing. The second thing, man, let's just get right into this and moving right along is along the lines of it being sustainable, along the lines of it being easier, let's remember that one of the great metaphors that I like to use for dieting, one of the great metaphors that I like to use for, trying to make a radical transformation is it's like a rubber band, right? When you are dieting and you are training really hard and you're putting your body just through the ringer, you are pulling on that rubber band in the same direction. You keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. And eventually, when the diet is over, you're going to let go. And what happens when you let go? You let go. And so think about a rubber band, right? When you pull, when you create a bunch of tension on one side and you let go, what happens on the other side, right? What happens on the back side of that? It snaps back into the other direction. And so I'm getting all fired up about this because I've experienced this more times than I care to admit, where I've dieted so hard, I've dieted for so long, and even when I told myself all along the way, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, I let go, and then it just happens. And I let go, and then I just snap back onto the other side because I wasn't ready for it, I wasn't mentally prepared, maybe I did diet a little bit too aggressively for too long, any number of reasons. But just keep in mind that if you're able to get by creating a little bit less tension for yourself, by maybe not pulling on the rubber band as hard in the one direction, you're setting yourself up for sustainable weight loss. You're setting yourself up for sustainable fat loss on the other side because the snapback or the potential snapback isn't going to be as severe. Now, let's be real, man, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to try to, lead you guys to believe something I know is not true. You have to create some tension. You're going to have to pull on that rubber band at least a little bit. right? I mean, if you're going to make a radical transformation, whether that be losing, 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 pounds or whatever the case may be, you're going to have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And so let's just be real about that. But you don't have to eat 800 calories a day. You don't have to eat 1,000 calories a day. You don't have to do any of that. I mean, when I think about 2017, which was the last time I did a competition prep for bodybuilding, I got into the best shape I've ever been in, and the lowest I ever got, like bottom of the barrel, final couple of weeks low, was like 1,400 or 1,500 calories a day, and that is still higher, significantly higher than what I see a lot of coaches do with their clients. And that doesn't even get into the fact that, remember, your body's really smart. So once you go to a certain level, after 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, your body's going to adjust. So now what are you going to do? When your body adjusts, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? You have to leave yourself, room. You have to leave yourself outs. You have to leave yourself, bullets in the chamber that you can call on, that you can fire at the time that they need to be fired. And so diet slowly because it's easy. Diet slowly because it's more sustainable on the backside. But here's another reason altogether, and this will be the last reason, and then I'll let you guys out of here. Hormones. So let's talk for a minute about your hormonal situation, right? When you diet, when you're in a caloric deficit, especially for a prolonged period of time, your hormonal situation, let's call it, is not going to be favorable. Your hormonal balance is going to get thrown out of balance. You are going to kind of find yourself in a situation, at least to a little degree, where your hormones start working against you. And here's what I mean. You're in a caloric deficit, your metabolic rate is going to slow down. It has to. You're feeding it less food. It's going to match that lower input with a lower output. That's just that. I'm not even a science person. I'm not even a biology major, and that's like biology 101. That's like biology 100. That's like biology off of Wikipedia, and that's why I understand it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is your testosterone is going to drop. And this is especially important if you're a male, but it's also important if you're a female because you still want testosterone, in your system to a healthy degree. And so when your testosterone levels drop, now all of a sudden you don't feel as great, you're not as strong, your performance suffers, you are more prone to storing fat, you don't burn fat as easily, so there's a lot of negative consequences there too. You also have potentially cortisol spiking, you also have potentially your thyroid output kind of slowing down a little bit, and so all of these things are byproducts of being in a caloric deficit. Now, if you're in a manageable caloric deficit, a lower caloric deficit to where it is more sustainable and you are dieting more slowly, you are able to better control and manage these hormonal changes. Whereas if you just go, crash, boom, bang, right out of the gates, then you could find yourself in a pretty tricky situation pretty quickly, where your testosterone has plummeted, your metabolic rate has shut down, and it doesn't matter how little you eat, it doesn't matter how much cardio you do, you just can't move any lower. You just can't lose any more body fat. And so that's a really, really negative situation to be in, and I've been in that spot, several times early on in my bodybuilding career. Lucky enough for me, and by God's grace alone, I've kind of figured it out along the way, and I've been able to avoid that scenario at least until the very end of, maybe a serious competition prep like what I experienced in 2017. So those are 3 reasons why I think you need to diet slowly. For those of you that checked me out live today, man, I really appreciate you. If you check us out on the replay, I appreciate you too. Definitely drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what questions you guys might have, and let me know, what your thoughts about this altogether are. I'm 16 weeks into my competition prep. I am down 13 pounds. So I am taking this idea to heart, maybe a little bit too much to heart, as I kind of wish I'd be moving a little bit faster than I am, but this is not bad. I'm still in a pretty decent situation, given the fact that I probably know that I'm going to need 40, maybe 42, 43 weeks until I'm ready to get on stage. And so I started at 208, I'm at 195. I know that I probably need to be between 155 and 158 to be in the condition that I want to be in to compete, to actually turn pro later in the fall. And so I am absolutely taking this whole idea of dieting slowly to heart. I am practicing what I preach, because otherwise, why would I even get on here and tell you guys what to do if I'm not going to do it myself? And so that's it. 3 reasons to diet slowly. And be sure and check out the description and download the fat loss formula, which is a free resource that I put together that gives you 3 additional variables to think about that you can start using right away that'll really turbocharge your fat loss. They've really made a big difference for me. So check it out. It's totally free. Just right there down in the description. And of course, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. A lot of fitness content, a lot of finance content, a lot of faith content. We've got all 3 F's coming on down the chutes. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great Easter tomorrow, and we'll see you guys next time.